We're going to do some more draft talk here on today's Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. Chase Sr. hanging out here with you. In particular, a 2-round mock draft reaction from ESPN NFL draft analyst Field Yates after he released his newest mock. Before we take a look at that, the NFL draft is almost here. And if you're pumped up and excited to see what Howie Roseman and the Eagles do, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. We've seen a lot of players walk from the Eagles in free agency. That was planned. They got paid. Eagles want to save some money for the future to pay their own players who they've drafted and developed. And now it's time to draft the new wave of Eagles superstars. So Eagles first on the clock, 32nd overall in the first round. So let's run through all of the selections in the first round to give you familiarity with the draft order and the players who could go in the first round. Cam Ward, quarterback out of Miami to Tennessee. Abdul Carter to Cleveland at number 2. Shadur Sanders to the Giants at number 3. Travis Hunter to the Patriots at number 4. Mason Graham, Jags at number 5. Ashton Genty, running back to the Raiders at number 6. Armand Membu, offensive tackle out of Missouri to the Jets at number 7. Jalen Walker, edge rusher and off-ball linebacker out of Georgia to the Panthers at number 8. Shamar Stewart, athletic freak out of Texas A&M, defensive end to the Saints at number 9. Will Campbell, offensive tackle out of LSU to the Bears at number 10. Walter Nolan, defensive tackle out of Ole Miss to the Niners at number 11. Tet McMillan, wide receiver Arizona, Dallas Cowboys at 12. Will Johnson, cornerback out of Michigan, to the Dolphins at 13. Tyler Warren, another Penn Stater, tight end, Colts at 14. Mike Green, edge rusher Marshall, to the Falcons at 15. Kelvin Banks, offensive tackle Texas, to the Cardinals at 16. Gray Zabel going 17 here out of North Dakota State to Cincinnati. Matthew Golden, wide receiver Texas, to the Seahawks at 18. Malachi Starks, a lot of Eagles fans love him. Georgia dog, 19 to Tampa Bay. Omarion Hampton, running back out of North Carolina to the Broncos at number 20. Jackson Dart, number 21, to the Pittsburgh Steelers, quarterback out of Ole Miss. Colston Loveland, tight end Michigan, to the Chargers at number 22. Michael Williams, edge rusher out of Georgia, to the Packers at 23. Jahdae Barron, cornerback Texas, Vikings at number 24. Donovan Jackson, offensive tackle, to the Texans at number 25. Maxwell Hairston, cornerback Kentucky, Rams at 26. James Pierce, edge rusher out of Tennessee, to the Ravens at 27. Derek Harmon, defensive tackle out of Oregon, to the Lions at 28. Nick Emanwari, the safety out of South Carolina, to the Commanders at 29. Josh Connerly, offensive tackle Oregon, Patriots at number 30. Luther Burden, wide receiver out of Mizzou, to the Raiders here at 31 as they trade up. And then Jihaad Campbell, linebacker, Alabama, to the Philadelphia Eagles. Not quite a Georgia Bulldog, but the SEC pipeline continues for Howie Roseman and the Eagles. And I'll tell you this, it is not a sexy pick, but what a steal Jihaad Campbell would be to the Eagles at number 32. It would be the earliest that the Eagles draft an off-ball linebacker, not edge rusher like Nolan Smith, who's listed as linebacker, off-ball coverage linebacker, since the Eagles took Michael Kendricks out of Cal in the second round all the way back in 2012. Philadelphia is a linebacker city. That's why people love the play of Zack Baun and Nakobe Dean last year. That's why everybody was saying, Howie, you got to address linebacker. And if he addresses linebacker in the first round, the value here of this pick is something that I really like. Here's what Field Yates had to say. It hurts me to see Campbell have to wait this long. He's the final prospect on the board who ranks inside my top 25. But after recent left shoulder surgery, his health outlook for the start of his career is less clear. But this would be a classic example of the Eagles pouncing on a talented player who fell due to circumstance. Philly struck gold with a no-risk signing of Zack Baun last offseason, and the idea of a linebacker trio, eventually composed of Baun, Nakobe Dean, who's coming off that knee injury, and Campbell, is exciting. He had 112 tackles, 11.5 TFLs, 5 sacks, after an INT last year. For a linebacker specifically, because of the physicality at that position, how often you have to engage your body from a physical standpoint, shoulder injuries are always worrisome for me, but this could be a great addition to this Eagles defense. The relative athletic score, he did not bench at the combine because of that shoulder, but he still earned a 9.87 relative athletic score out of 10. He weighed in and measured in at 6'2", 235 pounds, and at that size, he can run. He ran a 4.5 40-yard dash. The production was very steady. The tape is very consistent. He is an NFL caliber player who can be in the league and succeed in the league for a very long time. 117 tackles this past year, those 12 TFLs, 5 sacks, 20 pressures. So you can use him as a blitzer, and Vic Fangio does that a lot, whether it's right off the jump or on a delay. 2 forced fumbles, and 1 interception. His coverage numbers, pretty good too. Targeted 30 times, gave up 24 catches, 170 yards, had 1 touchdown allowed in coverage, 3 pass breakups and a pick, a quarterback rating when targeted of 87.5. Throughout his career, really started to come on the last 2 years at Alabama. You saw the flashes in 2023 under Nick Saban, and then in 2024 under Kalen DeBoer. You're like, wow, he can be one of the top prospects in this class. Field Yates has him as a top 25 guy. Triple-digit tackle numbers, double-digit TFL numbers, halfway to 10 sacks, 20 pressures. Jihaad Campbell, an instinctual player who plays with feel, who I think could continue to come alive under Vic Fangio and the linebacker background that he has with developing those types of players. So chime in. Who is your dream target at number 32? Drop me a name down below in the comments section right now. And speaking of the NFL draft, Eagles draft hats are available. If Jihaad Campbell gets drafted, he's going to be wearing one of these Eagles draft hats that we're showing you. Head to chatsports.com/Eagles draft hats. It'll take you to Fanatics. And Fanatics will know that Eagles Now, your boy Chase Sr., your fearless leader, and Chat Sports sent you, available in a couple of different color schemes as we're showing you, kind of that vanilla and black. There's also a dad hat option, same design, but a little bit closer to your head. Snapback and fitted options as well. Chatsports.com/Eagles draft hats. We'll put that link down below in the show notes and attached to the pinned comment of today's Philadelphia Eagles. Now, to the second round here, Tyler Shough, quarterback out of Louisville, to the Browns at 33 after they pass up on one. At number 2, Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle, Michigan, to Buffalo. Donovan Ezeraku, number 35 to Tennessee. Trey Amos, cornerback, Ole Miss, Jacksonville at 36. Josh Simmons, offensive tackle, Ohio State, to Kansas City at 37. Tyler Booker, offensive lineman, Alabama, to the Giants at 38. Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver, Ohio State, to the Bears at 39. Jaden Higgins, wide receiver, Iowa State, 40th overall to New Orleans. Quinshon Judkins, running back out of Ohio State, to the Bears at 41. Mason Taylor, tight end, LSU, to the Jets at 42. Ariante Ursery, offensive tackle, Minnesota, to the Niners at 43. Travion Henderson, 44. Running back, Ohio State, to the Dallas Cowboys. So they go Tet McMillan, Travion Henderson. Carson Schweisinger, linebacker, UCLA. Colts at number 45. Darius Alexander, defensive tackle, Toledo, to the Falcons at number 46. Nick Scorton, defensive end, Texas A&M, to the Cardinals at 47. Jonas Savane, offensive lineman, Arizona, to the Dolphins at 48. Azarie Thomas, cornerback, Florida State, to the Bengals at 49. Siobhan Revel, cornerback, ECU. If he didn't tear his ACL, may have been a first-round pick, to the Seahawks at 50. Elijah Arroyo, tight end, Miami, Broncos at 51. Jared Wilson, offensive lineman, Georgia, to the Seahawks at 52. Benjamin Morrison, cornerback, Notre Dame, to the Bucks at 53. Jack Beck, wide receiver, TCU, to the Packers at 54. Alec Ayumanner, wide receiver, Stanford, Chargers at 55. JT Tuimalahu, defensive end, Ohio State, to the Bills at number 56. Jalen Noel, wide receiver, Iowa State, to the Panthers at 57. Kyle Williams, wide receiver, Washington State, to the Texans at 58. Xavier Watt, safety out of Notre Dame, to the Ravens at 59. Tate Ratledge going early here, guard out of Georgia, to the Lions at 60. Will Howard, quarterback, Ohio State, to New Orleans at 61. Jacob Parrish, cornerback, Kansas State, to the Bills at 62. Landon Jackson, edge rusher, Arkansas, to the Chiefs at 63. And here we go. Defensive tackle out of Texas, Alfred Collins, to the Philadelphia Eagles at 64 overall. Field Yates on why he made this pick for Philadelphia. Collins had dominant stretches at Texas, and with more consistency, he could quickly outplay this draft slot. He's 6'6", 332 pounds, and he has 34 5/8 inch arms. The Eagles love to address the trenches at the draft, and Collins could help replace Milton Williams. This is also where Moro Ajomo went to school. I expect Moro Ajomo to have a really big season coming up in 2025 and helping to replace Milton Williams. In scouting, Alfred Collins plays hard, man, has athletic traits, freaky athletic, really good length. His first step quickness is just okay. Takes him a moment to get going. Stretches of really good play, stretches of okay play, but the athleticism is really tough to pass up on. In 2024, 16 games played, he registered 55 tackles with 6 TFLs. Only had 1 sack. You'd like to see that number be a little bit higher, and you'd like to see the pressure numbers be a little bit higher than 18. Sneakily, though, instincts along the line of scrimmage to jump up, bat some balls down. That's where that athleticism comes into play. 7 pass breakups and a forced fumble. Now you look at his body of work in college, really started to play a lot the last 2 years. 23 pressures in 2023, 18 pressures in 2024. And then when he didn't play as much, still had 11 pressures and 15 pressures in 2022 and in 2021. So you'd be banking on the athleticism and your coaching staff being able to develop the player. I think that you could get a better selection here in round 2, but this is Field Yates' mock draft, not mine. Do you like this mock from Field Yates? Y for yes, N for no. What say you? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that sub button for daily and year-round coverage of the EAGLES Eagles.